Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Curious About Bitcoin. I'm your host, Brian Rothenberg. Today, I wanted to go over what I've been thinking about with regard to Bitcoin Treasury companies. So, the big thing on my mind today is how I'm going to allocate some additional money that I have coming in this month. And there are a number of Bitcoin strategy plays that intrigue me. Sorry, Bitcoin's treasury strategy plays that intrigue me, as well as just, Bitcoin itself. And so what I wanted to do was think about how I should be invested in these various pots for the money that I have to invest. So what I did is I made a simple spreadsheet, not going to be sharing specific numbers, really just going to be sharing my actual percentage targets. So when I was thinking about this as I was in the gym today, I said to myself, well, I really want to have the Bitcoin that I have. And mostly I am in Bitcoin already. I don't want to sell any of the stock that I already have in MicroStrategy or MetaPlanet. And I do have a small allocation already to the blockchain group. But where do I want to add more? And so what I came up with in my mind was this target allocation of 70% Bitcoin in cold storage, 12.5% each to MicroStrategy and MetaPlanet, and 5% to the blockchain group, adding up to 100%. So then I took a look at where I had actually invested my money. And there's a little bit more to the story here when I talk about that, but you can kind of see that right now I'm about close to 74% Bitcoin, about 15%, give or take, in MicroStrategy, 10% in MetaPlanet, and then just small percentages to Blockchain Group, Semler Scientific, Fold, and Moon, which is also sometimes referred to as HK Asia Holdings. And so these are just kind of monitoring stocks, something to have some skin in the game, so I pay attention to them. But you can see that where I've invested my money in the past is mostly in Bitcoin and then MicroStrategy with a decent allocation of MetaPlanet as well. That's the dollars going in. The story today is a little bit different. So if I add this additional column here, what we see is that my portfolio today as it stands is about 68, 69% Bitcoin and about 15% MicroStrategy. But my MetaPlanet position has increased quite a bit, right? So instead of 10% here, it's now 15%. So it's grown by 50% as a part of my portfolio. I've grown more than that as a percentage of the invested dollars there. And some of these others have gone down in value overall compared to the value of other pieces of things. And Bitcoin, I just am carrying at my current price because I've bought at a whole bunch of different ranges, but that's just kind of where I'm at with that. It was too difficult to go through the process of thinking about that. I do have some additional money that I'm going to want to allocate in the coming weeks. I'm excited about the potential future for MetaPlanet. I'm excited about the potential future for Strategy as they report their Q2 earnings and more people understand what they're doing with the US market, MetaPlanet and Japanese market. I'm excited by the blockchain group and what they're doing. They're voting in a few days on doing more offerings and going up to, I think, 10 million in authorized offerings. So, that's another bullish sign there. I'm not really interested at the moment in adding to these positions, but that could change in the future. Really focused on these, and of course, Bitcoin, where I think that the value of Bitcoin denominated in dollars is going to go up quite a bit this year. So, with that, what I thought I would do is say, where do I want to have this target? So, I've got my post ad target here, and basically, I'm going to try to normalize things a little bit where I've got 5% into the blockchain group. So that's a significant increase there. 15% to allocate it to MetaPlanet when everything is said and done. So this is not 15% of the new. This is when I'm done with my portfolio, it's going to have these percentages, 15% in MSTR strategy, and then about 64, 65% in Bitcoin in cold storage. And then still keep my percentages here in a few of these other stocks. And the part that's missing here, because this doesn't add up to 100%, is just shy of that, is there are two other stocks that I just want to start tracking. One is Cooler, which is, I believe, a robotics AI company that also has a Bitcoin treasury strategy going, but that could be very interesting from the robotics AI part as well. I don't think that they're as bought into the Bitcoin Treasury strategies as, say, MSTR, Metaplanet, as much as the blockchain group or even similar. But I wanted to have some skin in the game there. And then the Smarter Web company out of the UK is another one that's kind of up and coming. I just want to kind of, again, continue to monitor them. One of the things that I thought about for when I really want to put significant money, say, 5% allocation, or, it's probably going to have to go down in time for that, but more money towards one of these companies is after they bought Bitcoin 2 or 3 times. And after I've heard them speak about their Bitcoin treasury strategy, and I think that it's core to their business going forward, right? That they've got to use some of these other levers within the financial markets to juice those returns rather than just adding Bitcoin on the balance sheet, which not to knock Fold. One of the reasons why I invested in Fold was because I was using the product, but I think that they're just accreting Bitcoin to their balance sheet based on their operations, right? So I don't think that that's going to grow nearly as much. And I'm not sure if I want to keep that in the long run or not. I may decide to shed it, but for now, I'm just going to leave it in the portfolio. So that's really what was on my mind this evening. I'm going to keep this video a little bit shorter than what I've done in the past, but I appreciate you all watching. Hopefully this is helpful for someone to be thinking about how you might want to allocate your capital. With these top 3 stocks, MSTR, Metaplanet, and the blockchain group, I don't think you're going to go wrong. You're going to see outsized returns compared to everything else. And I do expect that they will probably also beat Bitcoin's return in a bull market, but in a down market, they may not. And there will be some other thoughts that I'll share in the future around that. But again, thank you all for joining, and I will talk to you again soon. Have a great day.